From establishing the Heritage Fund to railing against the National Energy Plan, Peter Lougheed left an indelible mark on Alberta. Now, a new college bearing his name aims to ignite the Lougheed passion for leadership in future generations. The Peter Lougheed Leadership College launched at the University of Alberta this month, along with a partner institute at the Banff Centre, boasting an ambitious mandate to equip young Albertans with the insight and skills to better lead and think big. With former Prime Minister Kim Campbell heading up this new institution, how will it mold Alberta's emerging leaders? And how will it position our province for the future? And joining us this evening is the Right Honourable Kim Campbell, Canada's 19th and first female Prime Minister, now founding principal of the Peter Lougheed Leadership College at the University of Alberta. Great pleasure to meet you, Ms. Campbell. Welcome to Alberta Primetime.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
I really want to start on that legacy of Peter Lougheed, the name, held in very high esteem in our province. And this is what the late Premier had to say about his leadership style and what he accomplished.
My whole life, 365 days a year, was team sports. And I found in my public life that anything we really accomplished that was worthwhile, we accomplished it as a team. I chose provincial politics because I thought that's where the action was, and you could get a lot more done. Our whole approach as a political party was to talk not so much negatively, but we wanted to talk about the future of the province, and we wanted to talk positively. We got Albertans to think as Canadians.
Great clip.
It's wonderful to see that.
Love
those
hearing
old
that.
pictures really inspire. They're
now,
great.
as founding principal, what does it mean to have your name attached to the Peter Lougheed Leadership College?
Well, I hope I'm one of many former leaders and people who've been able to play a role in Canada who will pass through the doors of the Peter Lougheed Leadership College. But I think it was very attractive to me because Peter Lougheed was a great leader. And, you know, I held elected office at all three levels of government in Canada. I also served in the provincial legislature of British Columbia. And I understand what Peter Lougheed meant when he said that's where the action is. But he was a leader in so many different fields. He was an athlete. He was a leader of opinion as a journalist, as a student. He was a leader of the student government at the University of Alberta. And there were two institutions that he loved very much, the University of Alberta and the Banff Centre. And now to come together, to bring the two institutions together to create this new Peter Lougheed Leadership Initiative with the Institute at Banff and the college at the university, I think it's a great way to memorialize them. But it really, for me, what I find wonderful about it is it really gives us a chance to go back and celebrate people who really did lead for change, did make a difference. And now we hear that many young people are coming out of university, they've got good degrees, but they're not really prepared to take on some of the challenges that leadership in a modern society in the 21st century presents. It's in many ways harder even than it was when I was a young school trustee in Vancouver. We're even more diverse. We have more challenges. We've got 24-hour news cycle. We've got social media. We've got so many things that impact on people who are trying to make wise decisions and play a role in leading change in their society.
Put this institution into perspective for us. What will it provide for?
The Peter Lougheed Leadership College will be a college with about 144 residents, students in third and fourth year university. There will also be about another 100 non-resident members of the college. And our hope is that it will be a center of excellence. Those third and fourth year students will be exposed to some of the best thinking that is coming out of the academy, out of the social sciences and brain science about how we make decisions, how we have preconceptions, why some of the challenges that we face are harder than they seem, like creating diversity, like dealing with many of the issues that face us today and combining technology as well as social values. And they will also do what we call stretch experiences, and they will work in teams doing research on important issues of the day. But in addition to the experience that those students will have, which will be really spectacular, we hope that the college will resonate throughout the university. In other words, there will be some students who, for one reason or other, will not even want to make the commitment to do that kind of an intensive program. But we hope we'll be able to offer experiences and courses and maybe short-term intensive learning experiences that will resonate throughout the university to maximize the number of students who will be touched by this. I should should say that U of A, there are a number of faculties doing programs in leadership. And I hope that the Peter Lougheed Leadership College will also collaborate with them and kind of raise the profile of leadership at U of A, so that people will see that in addition to a good degree, there's kind of a whipped cream and cherry on top, that U of A students get a chance to think seriously about the challenges of leadership in the 21st century.
You have an incredibly distinguished career in your own right, even teaching at the Center for Public Leadership at the Harvard Kennedy School. How will this college position our province in that broader context of leadership development? Well,
I think all provinces need leaders. And I think Alberta has a lot of very interesting challenges. It's now the engine of the Canadian economy. It's a happening place. And I think that this will contribute to the development of leaders who can meet these challenges. You know, Peter Lougheed is a wonderful inspiration, and he was a brilliant guy and a wonderful lawyer, and he inspires us. But if he were sitting here today, he would probably acknowledge that the challenges of leadership today are more difficult in many ways, simply because of the pace of change and the exposure that people have. And so I'm hoping that Albertans will come to see this as a wonderful legacy of Peter Lougheed and a tribute to him, but a contribution to the province's ability to face the future. But it's not just Alberta, it's Canadians. And I think that, as I say, if it resonates throughout the university, I think it will really be a contribution to Canadian society.
Now, there has been some criticism of this initiative, that it's even elitist. It's wasted money at a time of fiscal restraint, that it won't benefit the wider student body at the U of A. How do you respond to that?
Well, you know, it's interesting. I mean, a lot of that criticism came from the students, and the student leaders have really come around now, because they understand that the goal is to create something really excellent. If you want to give something to the whole student body. If you start out saying we're going to do something that's going to meet all, I think it's 12,500 arts and science undergraduates. Well, you're not going to accomplish anything. That's too big. You have to start with something that's really excellent, and then find ways of making it resonate throughout the university, finding ways of sharing that value throughout the university. And I think that's what we're doing. And I think when people understood that, they came to realize that it's not elitist. It's much less elitist than medical school, let me tell you. It's in many ways, it's a much more kind of open, democratic process.
Where are we at in the broader context of leadership? If you look at the political scene here in Alberta right now, leadership is in flux, given the resignation of Alison Redford as Premier. Even to the point of gender, only 20% of Alberta MLAs are female. Where are we at? Why are we struggling with leadership?
You know, better than we were, not as good as we could be. But you know, one of the reasons that I'm excited about this college is that there is a lot of understanding now and social science research that helps us to understand why we still have these barriers. I taught a course at the Kennedy School called Gender and Power, and it looked at the ways in which and when this includes women, often we may intellectually believe in equality, but viscerally we're not comfortable with people who don't look and sound like the leaders we've always seen. And leadership is in many ways gendered masculine. And when people have those biases, it's not because they're bad people, it's because they're human. In order to function in a complex society, we have to lay down all sorts of little presumptions, schemas are sometimes called, frameworks in which to understand the world. And sometimes those frameworks lead us astray. They're not appropriate for the modern world and modern values. And if students have a chance to understand that, get a little bit of self-awareness, they can become much wiser, much better in reaching out in wherever they are, whether it's in politics or in business or the arts, and cultivating talent and making sure that the best people get a chance to shine.
Well, you have quite a job ahead of you. We wish you well with that, and it's a great pleasure to meet you in person. Thank you kindly for this.
I'm thrilled to be here. Thanks.
Right Honourable Kim Campbell, Canada's 19th Prime Minister, now founding principal of the Peter Lougheed Leadership College at the University of Alberta.